before I start this video, I want you to drop in the comments how much you have spent on Fortnite, and do not lie. I'll say for myself right now, I think I've probably spent at least $1,000 on this game. I've never checked, but I know it's probably up there at least $1,000. And the reason why I asked that is because in this video, I really want to talk about, do you think that Epic Games is predatory, or that they're trying to take advantage of you, or whatever? And the reason I want to talk about that today is because I was watching a video by a YouTuber named Yako, and he was actually talking about gacha games and how predatory they are, and sort of just the mechanics surrounding those games and how they get you to keep playing and spend more money. And I noticed by the end of the video, he was kind of throwing Fortnite in on this free to play, like gets you to spend money game. And it seemed to an extent like he was saying Fortnite is one of these predatory games that just tries to milk you for all you're worth. And so I thought to myself for a while, is this true? And then I went back and forth. I think it is true. And then I was like, well, no, I don't think it's true. And then I was like, well, I've spent $1,000 on this game, so maybe it is true. So I thought I'll make this video and explain my entire thought process on what I went through. And do I think he's wrong? I think a great place to start is kind of where this all began. So don't shoot me, but I have played League of Legends quite a bit in my lifetime. I've said this before on the channel, so anyone who's shocked, you're probably new or haven't watched all my videos, like some of the losers who have. Also, I love all my losers. But I have probably spent like $2,000 on League of Legends, and a majority of that was on loot boxes. This was back like almost 10 years ago now, when I had an actual job and I was spending a good portion of my paycheck every single time on League of Legends. Like, those loot boxes just got me, man. And so there's a couple ways in which companies that are free to play make money through, you know, cosmetics or whatever. Now, personally, I think that MiHoYo or Genshin, Zenless Zone Zero, these different games are some of the most predatory games in the ecosystem. Now, at the end of the day, you can still play all of these games for free and not spend any money. But I feel like if you're honest with yourself and you're playing Genshin or Zenless Zone Zero or any of these games, especially mobile games, you know that they are trying to milk you for all that you are worth, and it is dangerous. Some of the games can be genuinely fun, and they use that fun to lock you into not being able to progress much unless you spend money. When Genshin launched, I played it a decent amount, and I probably spent like, I don't know, $50 on it and just tried it out and was kind of seeing it. It felt like Breath of the Wild to me at the time. Breath of the Wild is probably my favorite game of all time. So at the time I was just fiending for anything that was similar. So I tried it out for a decent amount of time. And then I hit a point where it felt like every single day I was going to have to spend money to keep playing because I was getting locked behind daily timers, quest times, and all of this bullshit. Not to mention, if you really want to max out your character, you have to pull them like 6 times to complete the constellation. And then if you want to max them out damage wise, you have to go get the Jigamabob and then combine it with a Whoozamawut and then XP level them and then grind these specific XP things to get them to the next level, which then you have to get more of the Whoozamawuts but not Thingamabobs anymore. And then you have to go get the next XP level, which you have to grind more of this higher tier thing. And then that's only for doing your weapon. Then for your character, you have to do the same thing, but on a different way. And it just became too much. And the thing is a lot of it was genuinely fun. It's just when it gets capped by daily timers or whatever that you can skip or change if you pay money, it becomes very clear and to me felt very predatory. Now, at the end of the day, I have a hard time saying it's wrong because it is a free-to-play game. You're making a decision. Honestly, it just feels bad. Imagine you're playing a game and then a screen pops up where it's like, pay $10 to get to the next portion of the game. You pay that $10, 5 minutes later, it's like, okay, pay $10 more to get to the next portion of the game. And you never really know how much you're gonna have to pay to actually unlock the entire game. And if you saw the price tag from the beginning, you might be like, okay, this is how much I have to pay. But then all of these games try to throw different money different places so that you're not really aware of how much you're paying for everything. And then at the end of the day, when you look at how much you spent, you probably spent $1,000 on a game that you kind of like, but you don't even like that much, because at the end of the day, it's just a replication of Breath of the Wild, which is a better game, and I only spent $60 on that game. Now, there's mobile games which do this to like an even crazier degree. You could probably drop 10K on a mobile game in a single day and progress a ton, and then be like, well, I can't go anymore, so let me spend 10K tomorrow. Mobile games are notorious for having whales that will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their game and just keep doing the same thing over and over, because there's constantly new things to unlock and new things to get. Why am I saying all of this? I think it's important to note that games like League and then games like Fortnite, and while I do think League has some issues with their loot boxes, with these other things, like they just released like an arcane Jinx skin, and to guaranteed get it you have to spend like $250. So if you spend like $40, you don't get it, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'll try $40 more. You spend 80 bucks, and then you're like, well, I mean, I guess I'll try more, and then you spend $120, and then you're like, I still haven't gotten her. I'm already halfway. I might as well keep going since I already got here. At the end of the day, you finally just spend the full $250, and then you get one skin. Now, there's not only that, they've also done like a $500 Ari skin that was like exclusive or something, and there might even been like a $2,000 one. I can't quite remember, but I do think Riot can be pretty predatory on especially League of Legends with loot boxes. I don't really agree with how loot boxes function, especially in a game for kids. Don't even get me started on CSGO. CSGO is basically just legalized gambling in the United States with all those skins. Now, that brings us to Fortnite. So with Fortnite, I would like to say I don't see the predatory aspect as much, but I think there is something that I wish they would change, but they probably will never. Now with Fortnite, buying skins does not give you any sort of competitive advantage. It does not change the gameplay. All it does is add a little cosmetic. You're running around, you think it's funny, you think it's cute, you think it's cool, or whatever. It really doesn't change much. It doesn't unlock anything. It just changes the look and feel of your character, and it doesn't do anything to the gameplay at all. So inherently, this is a far less predatory thing, and I would go as far to say as I don't think this is predatory at all. At the end of the day, the game is free. You can be a default, you can run around, you can wait for even the free skins they give out decently often, and you really never have to spend money on Fortnite. Now, that's why I asked you guys to comment how much you have spent on the game though, because why is everyone I know spending so much money on this game? And also, I just want to say I have data too. Like, people use my creator code, which is JoJoJosiah. If you use it, I love you, but I make, you know, not a crazy amount of money, but a decent amount of money on that. So I know like how often my community is buying stuff on Fortnite, and it is a decent amount. I mean, there's constantly new collabs releasing, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but people are spending a decent amount on this game. Pretty much everyone that I know that has played this game more than a couple years has probably spent more than $500 on this game. Now, would you ever spend $500 on any new single game release that wasn't free to play? You just had to outright pay the purchase price, and that purchase price was $500. I think pretty much everyone would say no. Now, unless it was a sequel to Kid Icarus that comes out on the Switch 2, I would also say no. But you have spent $500 on Fortnite. So how are they tricking you? Are they tricking you at all? Maybe you don't notice because it's over time. And I think there's a few things that Fortnite does that I still can't. I struggle with saying they're predatory, but they definitely get ya. Now, the first way is by making everything just in a currency, and it's called V-Bucks. So say you buy like the $100 pack, you get 13,500 V-Bucks. That doesn't really feel like real money anymore. You can kind of equate it in your mind. Like for me personally, I think 1,000 V-Bucks is close to $10. That's how it's always felt to me. But you can get better deals, and then V-Bucks come and go, and then certain cosmetics are better priced than other ones. Like Doberman was only 800 V-Bucks. That kind of just feels like a 1,500 V-Buck skin. So is he a $10 skin? I mean, he's 800 V-Bucks, so is that like more like $5? And they sort of just complicate this process on purpose, and it's not as bad as some other games. Again, Genshin, it's like you buy one currency and then you convert it to another one, and then that one converts to this thing, and then you can buy a character. And when that happens, you can spend $30 and it feels like $5 because you're not really aware of where all the money is going. So in Fortnite, I don't feel like it's too complicated, but that's one way they get you. And I think another way that, I don't know, many people agree with me on this, but I think another way they get you, new release schedule. Like there's constantly gonna be new skins. They have really, really good designers on the game, plus all these new collabs in. So when you see the new shiny thing, you go, dang, I like that a lot. And after you've had one skin for 5 years, you're like, I don't really know if I like this one as much. Like, I've used it a lot. It's like when you were a kid getting a shiny new toy. Like, of course you're gonna want a new toy, even if it's barely different than all your old toys, just because it's the new toy. And then you have like the collector people that want all the exclusives. They want every single skin in the game. Those people have spent tens of thousands of dollars on this game. It is genuinely crazy. I don't know why people ever would do that. I've called anyone who's done that crazy in the past, but if you enjoy something, I mean, go ahead. I don't know. I feel like it can't be that fun, but I guess I own several $1,000s in Pokemon cards, and I've, you know, bought and sold them a lot in the past, so who am I to talk? But then the last thing that I would like to mention is I feel like the locker system and the emote system are all designed in a way for you want to get new things that come in and rotate out. Like when I look at my recent tab, like once something falls out of the recent tab, it's like I kind of don't even feel like I want to use it anymore, because after it's out of my recent tab, I'm just looking for the new shiny thing, and then I'll click on that and I'll use that instead. And then same with emotes, it's like I have my one emote wheel, and then I put all like the new stuff on there, and then slowly when I kind of get sick of emotes, I put a new one in place of the old one, and then that emote wheel just becomes, it's like what, 6 emotes? It becomes this kind of rotating like what is new in there, and I keep some stuff for longer than others because I like it more, but eventually everything gets replaced like every 6 months or so, and I just constantly put new stuff in there. I would have to reorganize all my favorites to just only have my actual favorites in there, and then maybe that wouldn't happen to me as much, but that's kind of tedious. So I do feel like mostly in Fortnite, I personally, this is gonna be my take on the topic, I do not think they are predatory. However, they do rely on that shiny new toy feel, and that is why people spend so much money on this game. But at the end of the day, they don't lock anything behind it. You can still play this game for 100% free, and they've gone out of their way to like do refunds, give out free stuff, and all of that. So I feel like, honestly, are they predatory? I would say no. But the free-to-play system does have like sort of a little bit of an inherent like icky feeling at certain times, and so I completely understand if you disagree with me. I wouldn't even be mad about it. I would just argue that Fortnite is the best one that I've seen do this. You know, League with their loot boxes, that definitely feels more like gambling, and definitely feels at least sort of predatory, even though it doesn't affect the gameplay either. I would go as far as to say it's like 50% predatory, and then Genshin in these mobile games like probably 90 to 95% predatory, and then genuinely CSGO is like 100% predatory to me. It's straight up gambling. Like that one's bad. I could do a whole separate video on just that topic alone of like how much it's literally just gambling. I mean, there's plenty of YouTubers that have made stuff on it. Go watch some of those videos. Just look up like CSGO gambling. I'm sure there's some video that's been popping off recently that will destroy how embarrassingly bad it is. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's predatory? How much, again, have you spent on this game? Be honest. I completely understand. Again, I spent like $1,000, but if you are buying stuff, you can always use my code. I mean, I appreciate it. That's one thing that Fortnite does that a lot of games don't do, is give, you know, a throwback to the creators, and I think that is also really cool and definitely not predatory. But then you could argue maybe it is predatory because I'm advertising my code, trying to get you to buy things, and then you buy things because you like me, and then Fortnite's making most of the money and I'm making like a tiny percentage of it, so maybe I shouldn't even advertise because I'm only getting a little bit and Fortnite's getting most of it. So maybe it's predatory because I'm using my audience to give them money. Join my Patreon. That gives me almost all the money. I'm going to be doing a lot of different stuff this year. The main channel mostly stay the same, but I'm gonna try some pretty crazy stuff, and hopefully you'll like it if you see it. And join the Discord, watch the streams, whatever. I'll see you in the next video, guys. I love you. Peace out. Thank you so much to all my Patreons for supporting the channel, and thank you, Paragon, for the extra crazy support.